Okay, so we have the Don't Rush Challenge, right? Which I think is amazing because it's literally showing people completely transform before our eyes in like seconds. So why does that matter, right? So I truly think that we're in a space right now. The entire world has paused. And it's like, all right, let's transform. And it is already. Like the animals are getting hip. Like everything is catching on. Of course, we as humans are usually like the last ones to see it and to get it. And so what's happening is we're all given an opportunity to completely create a new being. Like in this time of quarantine, we're all kind of put away in your own secluded space, but you still have connection. You can still call, you can still text, you can still be who you want to be. But you're put in a space where in a time of isolation where you get to go within and recreate yourself. And whatever that means, whatever that looks like, you get to find out who you are. Why are you here? Where are you going? And why do you want it? I think I've had the opportunity to get so clear on my why. And I am here to create a legacy that not just supports them, but that lives on for generations and generations to come, that also supports my family as well. I am here to be the voice for many women that hasn't found the courage yet to speak up and speak out, amongst countless other things. But I think the Don't Rush Challenge is pretty interesting because in a matter of seconds, you're transforming into your better self. You see me in my mess, and then now you see me in my greatness, and you can't touch me, like I'm it now. Like I think what we get to see is that everything on the second half of that Don't Rush Challenge is already within, like the beauty and the image of the outward person that you've become is already within, and if you reverse the challenge and it looks like this is who I am outwardly, and then it shows the inward of your being. I wonder what that aspect of the challenge would look like, because for many of us, we work on the outside all the time, but what's happening in here? What's happening in here? Like how is this doing? And so we are in like a chrysalis, like a caterpillar, and we're given this opportunity to come out of this chrysalis as a butterfly instead of staying as a caterpillar. So it's like our environment was very important to us before, because the environment is what's going to support us with how we get through this time of being in this chrysalis. So if our environment was supportive, then in this time of quarantine, we know where to go. We know to pray. We know who to talk to. We know how important fasting is. We know the severity of meditation to get us through this time. And so some of those things, amongst many other things, writing, reading, journaling, all these things are things that can support you in this time of quarantine. And then just being creative. Tap into your creativity, because that's truly going to support you in how you come out of this, because that's what's most important, right? How will we come out of the quarantine? Because if you're busy being focused on how you're going to come out of the quarantine, being in the quarantine won't really bother you, because you're so excited about who you get to be on the other side, that this is a time of planning. This is a time of getting it together. This is a time of working through all those ugly things that you don't want to face in front of people. Because let me tell you, transformation is not pretty. Transformation is pretty messy. It gets different for everybody. Don't get me wrong. But it's not always easy, and it's definitely not always pretty. Think about having a baby. I had 3, and none of them were clean. Let me tell you, it was a mess each time. But what came out of it? A beautiful life. Literally, life. So what does your life look like coming out of quarantine? What have you created in this time of creativity? That's what I want to call it. I don't want to call it quarantine. I want to call it creating because you get to create, like, and whatever it is you want. Like literally, you like a lot of us are working from home, but not everyone, So I see posts going around like, oh, don't put pressure on us to work or come out of this with a new skill or whatever. But an idle mind has never been using this time to be idle. And it's not gonna feel good to us that have did the work in this time. The entire world had an opportunity to be productive. So if we're not using this time to be productive, then what are we doing? And I'm just going to leave that there. Ask yourself. This is no longer a time of finding accountability outwardly. And this is no longer a time of object referral, as Chopra talks about. Self-referral and self-reflection and looking within and knowing oneself, because only that knowledge is what's going to give you the mental capacity to withhold and to stand in this time. So what are you willing to take a stand for? What are you willing to give to the world? What are you good at that you want to share with those around you? And it's already happening. Like, some people are already tapping into it. Like, they're already using their talents, natural gifts, and abilities to give back to the world. What are your talents, natural gifts, and abilities and skills and things that you've acquired over time? Personally, I've obtained a lot of information. I've read a lot and I've done a lot of studying and never shared it, never put together anything to give it out and to give it back and to share with the world. So that's what I'm working on. But what are you working on? Because collectively together, if we're all doing it together, then we can move much faster, right? There's power in numbers. So, let's be productive. Let's create. And most importantly, let's make sure that we're coming out of this with the tools and resources to support other people in creating. And we're coming out of this with gifts that we have to give to the world, not what we want to take from the world. Because the world has said, I'm tired and y'all need to go be put on timeout. No, I'm just kidding. But it gave us an opportunity to really be put away, to go within and to search and find who we are. Why are we here? What is our purpose? And where are we going? And plan on how to get there. Because that's what time it is, y'all. It's time. Yeah, that's my spiel. And I'm done.